We are recording live on August 18th, 2013. You were listening to the Movie Thing Bullshit Podcast Show. Yeah, I just add the bullshit in there just because that's mainly what we do on this show. Yeah, of course, we have the same two people. It's me, Brandon, and Brandon, apparently. I was waiting for, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm just like, you guys just need to start introducing yourselves.
I guess we're just so used to you doing it. It's like, wait, did he introduce me yet?
I know, honestly. I think it does get to that point, because we'll be recording a bloody time. I'm like, I'm Brandon, and I'll just sit there, and then they catch, and Dustin, It's just like, I guess I did start out just introducing you guys so often you just wait for me to do it and then be like, hello, I'm here. We need Brandon to tell us when we're here.
Otherwise, we're not here.
Yeah, I'm Brandon and I'm talking to nobody. Just really start fucking with the guys on one episode of one of our podcasts. Just be like, I'm Brandon and I have with me Steve. And everyone's like, who? Who the fuck else is in this show?
Yeah, I'd be confused if not just to try to take up the mantle of Steve just for the hell of it.
You're just like, I'm Steve. Isn't that Nick?
I have many names.
Yeah, I go by many names. Sir, you know what I enjoyed? I just got done literally an hour ago. I went down I had to go get gas, so I was like, you know what? Since I'm near a Taco Bell, I gotta go get some Taco Bell. And I do have a question for you immediately, Nicky G. How much Taco Bell can one man consume before it's considered unhealthy? I've only had it, at least once or twice a week this month.
I think unhealthy the second you step foot in one of Taco Bell's, but who knows? But I don't know. I mean, I think they use some kind of soy product for their taco meat or something. It sure as hell ain't taco meat.
I know. I think they do. I mean, I don't know if anymore. They originally were using a soy-based taco meat for a while. It wasn't actually beef for a while there. I think they've moved on to actual beef now, but I'm not 100%. All I know is whatever they're putting in their quesadilla, whatever they put in their grillers, it's amazing. I love those things. Taco Bell, literally, I'm really skeptical because they had their smothered burrito. I'm just like, that can't be good. That literally cannot taste good. So, but I did.
Yeah, no, I've seen those commercials and it's just I couldn't even eat that. Just not even just on the basis of it. Just God damn, what? I don't know. I just don't for the most part, I don't like seeing some of my food smothered crazy like that. It's just fuck that.
I like smothered burritos if I go to a sit-down Mexican restaurant. I can sit down, enjoy a smothered burrito, because, I'm not trying to eat it anywhere. I'm just eating at the table. I'm not, I would ever eat and drive. I did fuck up, though, today. I was at Taco Bell because I got a quesadilla to go with all three of the grillers, so it's I'll get a quesadilla. I made the mistake, Nick. I forgot to tell them a chicken quesadilla. Because I said quesadilla, they give me a quesadilla. And the whole time I'm thinking, when I took a bite out of it, I was that one was weird. It didn't have any chicken in it. Couple more slices, no chicken. I was like, God damn it! Seriously? No fucking chicken? The quesadillas are crap without chicken or steak. If you get just quesadillas, it's just cheese, and that's lame. It's like eating cheese pizza. It's just, it's boring, it's lame. I need to have a dead animal in it.
Just, if there's none, you just run out and just hit a fucking squirrel with a rock.
Exactly.
But most of the time when I go to Mexican restaurants, my family always makes fun of me for this, but I always get something American.
Oh, you have that asshole. God damn.
I am not. Sometimes I will get something Mexican, but for the most part, I always try to get something American. It has paid off in the past, where we've gone to a restaurant and freaking everyone else's food was, apparently all theirs was just crap, 'cause, it was probably, sitting out, and all they did was just reheat it up and shit, and mine actually had to fucking cook, which it took a while, but, you know, they cooked it, so
because
it's
no one orders a fucking hamburger when you go to a Mexican. You know, I always assumed, see, this has been me, because I've never done that, Nick. I've always assumed that if you go to a Mexican restaurant, they have like that American section that's like 4 items. I always assume though, if I ordered like a hamburger, it's just something they pop in a microwave and then they just take it out, like whatever. I never thought they would actually grill it or anything because I didn't think they had that. Me personally, when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I'd like to be the most expensive asshole. I always get fucking fajitas. I'm just like, you know what, I'm in the mood for fucking fajitas. I never get fajitas because, you know, fast food places don't sell them. That's usually what I live off of. So, so when
I think one of the things that, makes me choose the American food part because I can pronounce it.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And for you, for the audience members, I'm not, I don't really eat smothered burritos, but just like, you know, sometimes it's like, I don't even know how to pronounce it, and I don't even want to point. A lot of times I don't like having to put a whole bunch of choices. It's kind of like, I'll have the chicken. It's like, oh, do you want Swiss cheese marinara? It's like, that. Oh, do you want ground beef? It's like, sure. Oh, do you want some French fry, potato fries? What the fuck? Yeah, just give me the goddamn food.
So you would hate going to Subway. What do you want on your sandwich? Oh, fuck. I don't know. You go there, just surprise me. No, I've only had a problem with that. Like, okay, so basically last month, I went to Panda Express, you know, the fast food Asian food. It tastes like fast food Asian food too. But I went there because I was at GameStop trading and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm hungry, might as well get something to eat. So I walk in there and the clerk played 20 fucking questions with me. I said, hey, can I get chow mein and double orange chicken? She's like, okay, would you like any egg rolls with that? No, thank you. Would you like any wontons with that? No, thank you. Is it for here to go? It's to go. Okay, can I get your student a drink? No. And literally, would you like to donate? I was like, no, just give me my goddamn food. I was like, man, I almost wanted to flip out. I understand it's part of her job to try to upsell me, but it's seriously like that whole fucking thing where I'm just like, god damn. She even asked me, would you like to try any free samples? I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know what? If I wanted any of that crap, I would have asked for it.
So it's the GameStop of restaurants?
It was like, god damn. I'm surprised they didn't ask me to pre-order anything for next time. You want to pre-order your lunch next time you come in? No! Real $5 down. Oh, would you like to get the collector's edition?
Man, Asian food is really just...
So what about the orange chicken?
You know, I've just had it so much throughout my life. It's just really worn off, and it's just meh to me now.
Oh, you know, like back in high school, me, actually, one of our other hosts, Nick, and Dustin, and a few other people used to go to Panda once a week, and I used to get the same damn thing. Towards the end of, it was like junior year of high school, I literally just stopped going, and they're like, hey man, why don't you want to come with us anymore? I was like, I am so sick of frickin' Panda right now. I could just scream. I'm just done with it. And then I just started, you know, instead of after school going to Panda, I just went home. I was just so sick of it. It was just one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do this. And, like, one of our friends used to get, like, triple orange chicken. So that's 3 scoops of orange chicken. And then just like, dude, how do you, 1, eat all that? 2, how do you eat all that each week?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like music for me. The thing about music is instead of getting a bunch of different music and shuffling, I will listen to the same damn song for like a week.
Oh.
To the point where I'm just fucking sick of it.
I'm with you on that one. If I hear a song, I'm like, yeah, and I'll just have it on repeat and just play it and play it and play it and play it. But I don't get sick of it. I basically just lose interest in it and stop listening to it. I still own it or whatnot, but I don't get myself sick of it. It is one of those things where I just keep playing it, and I'm just really glad though that I don't have like a Spotify thing hooked up to my Facebook, so people, I don't know if it shows how often you listen to the same song, but they would be like, okay, why does he keep listening to Discovery
Barbie
Channel.
World.
Yeah, boy, does he keep listening to Barbie World over and over and over. What is going on in Brandon's house?
I think the only thing I get sick of music is when it's, actually someone singing. Most of the time I might listen to movie soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
So those are generally, I might get tired of them, but I'll generally come back to them eventually.
Movie soundtracks are so dangerous. Like, back right when The Dark Knight Rise came out, I actually got some of the soundtracks and put it on a CD. I had it in my car. And when you're listening to the Batman soundtrack of the dun, dun, you start going faster than usual. In your mind, you're like, oh, I gotta go stop the Joker. And you just start, and it's even worse because I drive a stick. So I'm even having the cool shifting with it. Just, like, cops are pulling me over. I gotta go fight Bane!
Well, that's funny because I remember when you and Jared came out of The Dark Knight Rises, Jared started driving a bit faster. I'm like, dude, going a little faster, Batman?
He's like, I am Batman. And just starts flooring it. By the way, that was the last time I saw that asshole. I totally forgot about that. I was about to say, I haven't seen that guy in forever. Yeah, it was about a year ago now.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you're, for people who have not graduated high school and are not going to college, this means nothing to you, but everyone else, basically starting up again. Damn. Which means...
which, I don't know why I'm laughing.
I know, it's like, you're going to college too, buddy. I mean,
God.
I only have like 2 classes, so it's not going to overburden me this semester. And Nick, he decided he wasn't going to take any of this semester. He thought, I only had all summer to apply for colleges and do all that. But nah. Ever since he left the Springs, he's just like, I don't really feel like doing anything now.
Yeah, I've met a couple of people who, they just said, I'm not going to college, fuck that. Which, oh no, I mean...
What are you going to do, though?
I know, right? I mean, some people, I know join the military, but it's kind of like, even if I didn't go to college, that would be my last resort. Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things where I don't know. Maybe this guy has a lot of ambition, but it's kind of just like he's kind of I don't want to say he's a spiritual hippie, but he's always talking about how much he meditates and all that shit. So it's kind of like, dude, I get it, but karma's gonna get you a job. You need to fucking do something. But who knows? Maybe he'll do something good.
Guy or something, or if you're meditating, you're putting that in quotey fingers, and you're really getting drunk all the time, and he's just thinking that he's a hippie and he's against society, which really means he's a piece of shit and can't get a job, so he's a burden on society. I mean, am I reading into this a little too much, or no?
Kind of, because if I did have a homeless man as a friend, you probably would have killed him by now. I mean, what?
Well, it's not, being that they don't count as people in the eyes, I think it's legal.
I won't say who, but one of my family member, I think, I'd probably just say my sister, because it's not like that matters, but, she was talking about getting an EMT, just talking about going to EMT training and stuff. And the first job she'll have to work as is actually picking up dead homeless people off the street of Denver. So I was like, great, now you get to see all Brandon's victims firsthand.
Tell Brandon I said hi. No.
You just need to put Brandon was here on one of them.
And also what happened this week, though, Nicky G, was the open of Cabela's, and the first thought I had was, why does anyone care? I actually met my grandparents who stopped by at my work, and they're like, oh yeah, we went to Cabela's. Did you go down there? I'm like, no, why would I? Well, it's open, it's new. I'm like, yeah, but it's just a sporting goods store. What do I care? That's outdoors stuff. It's not like they have a section of video games. Well, they might. They had their shitty ones. Cabela Hunter 2013. It's nothing like the real thing. I really want Cabela to come out with a real hunting game that's really like going hunting, where for a full 2 days you play the game. It's like a 48-hour game. That's how much gameplay is in it. And all you do most of the time is just walk around in the forest, don't see a damn thing, search poop, just walk around with a gun, then go back to your camp, eat, sleep, drink beer, walk out again, nothing. Just go home and say it was a bunch of bullshit. That's what hunting is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I can't say I've gone hunting, but I've watched a lot of hunting channels like a fucking idiot, so.
I have gone hunting, and that was literally, I just described my hunting, hold on. God. Literally my hunting experience is just that. It's just walking around. I've done it twice, so it's not like I just did it once and gave up. No, I went twice. And it was during the winter, too. Which means you're cold, miserable, and
bored.
see nothing. Yeah, you really get bored. I'm carrying a rifle, and I get bored. I'm sitting there holding a gun, a high-powered weapon. But since I can't shoot at anything, I'm just like, well, fuck I care. I'm just gonna,
You respect, like, Cabela's, Dangerous Games or whatever?
Oh, God, no. I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting to see some fucking squirrel. It's like we picked the hunting site that was, that just got off the nuclear war. Like, we didn't see nothing was living. Nothing moved. We're just like, well, okay, well, there's that other hunter over there who's driving his really loud ATV to make a lot of noise, and now we can't do anything. Because you always get those retards. The animals aren't that stupid. They're not going to be like, oh, that must be a weird-sounding bear. No, they're like, oh, those are assholes with guns who are just going to shoot me just because they can. Now I sound like I'm some hippie, like, animals have feelings too. I still think the end of Bambi should have been him getting shot in the head.
Oh, shit.
He's like, oh, I'm finally a deer, and then...
That actually would have been a freaking, true life lesson for kids. Besides duck.
Oh, besides duck, and always wear an orange vest, and don't be a fucking deer. Yeah. And maybe his little buddy Thumper gets, hit by a bear trap. He's just hopping along. Hey! I want to see my version of Bambi now. Where it's just where it's basically a fuck you to hunters, but, it's just people like me would get a kick out of it.
Well, they actually do that with a lot of movies where they make people the bad guys.
Oh, God. Well, an animal movie, really. Where they have animals talking, they usually either have some human as some bad guy. It's usually, if it's 101 Dalmatians, it's the chick who likes wearing fur. It was kind of an anti-fur. Yeah. Or you got Bambi, which is anti-hunter. You got even Open Season, that's all about them trying to stop them from cutting down part of the forest for, I think, casinos or some shit. So any of those little kids' cartoons where animals talk, it's gonna be something. Even fucking Finding Nemo had the little girl as the villain. A little girl with braces, but, she's retarded, so she's evil. I'm like, no, she's just mentally retarded. That's not her fault.
I'm pretty sure she wasn't mentally retarded.
Well, she liked to shake fish.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, I understand she was a little kid, but even little kids would know, hey, don't do that. Or maybe it was the dentist guy who should have been like, hey, you stop shaking fish. I'll go out and catch these.
Yeah, that really is a good point. Why the hell doesn't that dentist just tell her, hey, don't shake the fucking fish, and I want to keep getting you new ones?
I know, she shakes the first one, okay, I will get you one more, but if you shake that one again, we're done. No more fish. I'll get you this little runt of the group because, he's not even going to be worth anything. They shake it, Nemo's dead. Guess what? He found Nemo dead. All you have to do is flush him down the toilet. Which actually is how he escapes. Spoiler. Actually, the best thing I had, real quick before we get to the top 5, Smoking Aces from my sister's boyfriend. And he does't have the case of Smoking Aces, so it was in the movie case of Finding Nemo. And all I could say is that movie. Oh my god. I don't know. What's your thoughts on Smoking Aces? Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I have.
It's really, it's hard to recommend because it's really stupid, but it's also really it's my type of blood fest. I mean, literally, it got me from just a trailer when they're like, a bunch of hitmen are trying to go after one dude, and basically, it's like first come, whoever gets to him first. They're kind of fighting each other, fighting the police, and it's really a nice, cool, bloody grindhouse film, and it's really awesome. It has kind of a weird ending where they try to get really all deep in it, but besides that, it was a fucking great movie. I like it a lot. But anyways, let's start out with number 7. No, number 7 was a good thing. You know why it's a good thing it's number 7? Is because when I heard about this movie, I said, fuck you. It's Jobs. The Steve's movie. You know who bought tickets to see this movie? people who are
Dustin?
Maybe. Well, there's people who are so entrenched with Apple that they just buy everything. Those Apple whores. Those are the people that bought this. Because this had a fucking pathetic opening weekend. It only made $6.7 million. I mean, this was just below par. Yeah. Steve Jobs with Ashton Kutcher out of everyone playing a guy who's supposed to be smart. I hate what everyone thinks of when they see Ashton Kutcher? They think of Return Off of That Show. Yeah. So, plus, who gives a fuck about stuff? I hate to say it. I'm kind of anti-Steve Jobs just because, everyone's like, oh, he's a visionary, he's all this. He also uses the Chinese people as a cheap form of labor and makes your iPod for 30 cents and goes around to sell them for $500 to $600.
Well, hell, you might like this movie somewhat because, they actually show the asshole side of Steve Jobs.
Oh.
I didn't go out to see it, but, I've heard a review on it. It's really kind of, they don't really take it easy on him. They go more into, his flaws and, less about his, I guess they still don't go into, his vision or anything, but, he's always screwing over, a bunch of people in the movie, so it's kind of like, fuck, even I didn't know this, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, really, he was one of the guys that was always in the limelight. The only time you saw him was when he was introducing something new. So, if you're into those, I guess, mockumentary type things where they're kind of making, those, it's like a weird autobiography, but without him. I'm trying to think, what the hell are those things called? What kind of movie is this? Or, I don't know. It's stretching the truth. Probably it's probably about as accurate as the Facebook is, where they add some hood stuff, but it's still the facts are there. Which the Facebook movie was a movie I was like, oh, that's gonna be bullshit, and it happened not to be. This one, I said it was gonna be bullshit, and it pretty much turned out to be, being that no one cared. Yeah, then, besides that, that's the only one that came out this week that is worth mentioning, that it's number 7. That's at the bottom. So we'll go on to number 5, because number 6 was a bullshit movie anyways. Number 5. Boys picks are sad right now, but Planes.
It is crashing.
Yeah, they really did. Compared to what they made with Cars and stuff, it's pretty pathetic. It's just kind of one of those things where I think even the kids are sick and tired of this shit with the talking things. And also, I have to say that I really believe it's the parents. I believe it's the parents who are sick of this. They don't want to take their kids to see another talking a talking vehicle movie. They're like, oh my god, they're all the same bullshit. Who cares? They're a bunch of talking vehicles. And the little Jimmy wants to see it once, whatever. But it's not a good one. It's not something where even adult, like Despicable Me 2, we were talking about that for weeks on this show. It's because it was, people actually liked seeing it. People didn't mind taking their kid to see it 2 to 3 times. Planes is just like, if the little bastard wants to see it, we'll take him to see it once, but whatever.
I mean, as a kid, you were interested in planes?
Yeah, see, okay. I was a kid, I was still, like, when I was, like, a nerd from the beginning. Because even when I was a little kid, I wasn't into cars or planes or trains. I was not into planes, trains, or automobiles. I was into, action figures. I was like, this monster's gonna be fighting this hero, and I was into that stuff. Even at 5 years old, I had, like, little demon action figures. I had Star Wars and demons. It was just freaking awesome. I was happy with my childhood. What about you? Were you into planes? Are you a big plane guy? Oh yeah, you told me you like playing the flight simulators in one of our reviews. That ain't out yet, but.
Yeah, for some with the most, I was more interested in a lot of jet fighters, stuff like that, because I'd go off to my uncle who works in the Air Force, so we'd go out to the Air Force base and that'd be fun. But some of the times it's kind of like, I'm not sure what there is to do in the sky besides flying it. So it's kind of, I think the only thing that's more boring than flying, which, if I was actually flying a plane, that'd be different, but it's like watching movies or documentaries. If there's anything more boring, it's stuff in the ocean, like the deep ocean. That shit puts me to sleep.
So when do you think we're going to get the sequel to Planes, or the spin-off of Planes, Boats? Or maybe what?
Who knows? Obviously this part didn't do as good as they hoped, but no, never put anything past Pixar. They might try it.
Yeah, it did better than some movies that were out, but it's probably made back its budget, but it's still one of those things where, like, I don't know. What's your thoughts on these movies, though, that have inanimate objects that actually talk?
No, I don't really mind. It depends it just depends what they do with it. Like, I didn't mind Cars 1. I enjoyed it when I was younger.
Oh, Dolly?
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I never watched any of the other ones. You know, it's just meh. Didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Toy Story. That's about the only anime I really liked. You know what I want to see though is the one they did a Simpsons sketch on this, and it was kind of a parody of Toy Story, but it was called Condiments. And have you seen this?
No.
Like, have you seen that Simpsons? Okay, it's like basically it was like I said, it was like these, you know, the condiments are alive and stuff. And I was like, that would be kind of interesting. That, or I want my like child come alive. I want a movie that was like, because, okay, people, little thing in Brandon's, you know, back when I was a little kid, I was big into Toy Story, but I took a darker version of Toy Story.
Oh shit.
Where I'd be like, oh yeah, my toys are alive, but they'll kill each other and stuff. And they would have to, they would fight and kill each other and do this and go on adventures, but their weapons would, basically, I want to see one of those ones that's like a spin-off of Toy Story, but the toys would actually fight each other. You know, they're actually like, oh, they're stabbing each other, they're ripping their arms off, and be like, oh god, you ripped off my arm, but they're toys so they don't die from it, until one guy kicks Woody into the incinerator. He's like, yeah! And Buzz is sitting there like he goes Rambo style, has a bandana around his head, just like,
well,
taking out the army guys or whatever.
They did do that. That was Toy Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers.
Oh
yeah, so Small Soldiers. Small
Soldiers, yeah.
Yeah. That one was. You know what annoyed me about that one is they had to have the kids in there. If they literally just left like the people who the people who own the toys out of it, or maybe had them have a smaller role in it, it would have been so much better. I mean, I like the movie because it is similar to that. It basically is the same thing. But I liked it if they just focused on the monsters versus the soldiers.
But Brandy, we would have known the power of friendship.
Oh god. We wouldn't have seen a young Kirsten Dunst slowly flush away her career before it even starts, or even see that one guy who played as the main character eventually be in the movie Hobo with a Shotgun.
No, I've not.
Have you seen that?
No,
movie?
I haven't. I've heard a lot about it, but.
Okay, spoiler for people who have not seen Hobo with a Shotgun and want to. Alright, the main character in freaking Hobo with a Shotgun, he plays as one of the mob boss's sons, but the mob boss is, he's one of the psychotic sons. Literally, the scene when he goes on a school bus with a flamethrower and plays Disco Inferno and burns the little kids on a school bus. That is exactly what happens in the movie. What is funny is where the fuck was Fox News on that? They're attacking Mass Effect that has no anything, hardly any blood in it. But yet they totally miss the Shotgun, which is an exploitation film if I've ever seen one. And it's so bad that it's actually pretty good. It really does that wraparound. But anyways, number 4. Kick-Ass 2. Haven't been hearing good things about this, Nikki G.
I've heard some so-so things. I mean, I probably still might go see it, just because I like Kick-Ass 1 and stuff, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I liked Kick-Ass 1. I liked it a lot, but then I start hearing, Kick-Ass 2. I start hearing some grumblings about it. I'm not hearing that it doesn't hold up to the original. Like and then the director apparently changes the ending, so it's a less darker ending and more comical ending. And that's also something where I'm just like, I understand you guys are trying to make an action comedy, but I don't know. I like it better when these comic book movies stick close to the source material, because the source material is what made it popular. Let's admit, the source material was what made you want to make this into a movie. And I don't know. I have no idea, though. I never read the Kick-Ass comics, so I have no idea if I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make a Kick-Ass 3, or if it's even possible. Like, I don't know I don't know if it was just a miniseries comic where that's where it has to stop, or what. This one I actually could have seen this Friday, but I chose not to because I just really didn't feel like it. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like it's not on my must-see list. Being that, I gotta afford other things, so I'm choosing to cut out movies, so I can see very few movies now.
If there was one thing about it, I've heard that Jim Carrey was really good in it, but he didn't have enough screen time, so it's kind of you know.
Which is really sad because he is all over the goddamn. Hell, I saw the poster. Has Jim Carrey and, Mick Lovin, I don't know who the kid is, but they got Jim Carrey and, their faces cut in half and then, like kind of the good,
Yeah.
But if, I heard the same thing where Jim Carrey's hardly even in it, he doesn't have as much screen time as they're pimping out. The whole time I'm thinking, like, well, stop pimping him out. I understand you guys are trying to make money and he sells more tickets than the main character, but still, people are going to be really disappointed when they come in and, he's only in probably a half hour of the film total. Alright, we'll go to number 3, which is sad. It makes me sad, because I think I was kind of wrong about this. I mean, this was a box office hit last week. Elysium. Now, Nick, I promise multiples and but it shouldn't be number 3. It shouldn't be number 3. No. Only made $13.6 million. Okay.
They're there.
It's okay.
Eventually it'll be gone forever.
It's the only movie that's even out that I could say. I mean, this is on one of my. This is definitely going to be my top list. Like, this is just so. This movie was so good. It had such a good freaking sci-fi movie. And it was fun to watch. I even got mad at Madden for saying it was just a popcorn film. I'm like, no, it was not a popcorn film. It was a great masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, this movie. Have you seen it yet, Nicky G?
I have not. Don't kill me.
It's because of you. It could have been number 2, but you decided you were too good for it. No.
Yeah, those $10 really would have pushed it up to the number 2.
Yeah, if you and another 4 million people would have gone and seen it, they've been way better. But yeah, so Elysium number 3. I mean, I think it'll be in the box office at least one more week, at the very least. I mean, it did better. Kick-Ass started out at number 4, Kick-Ass 2, which also does not bring too much promising. That's going to be on.
Yeah.
It's after this week. Kick-Ass 2 is done.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at that. Really, I thought it would have been number 1 this week.
I'm actually really surprised at that because the number 1 I didn't even hear of coming out. So. Number 2 is what really even makes that Elysium and number 3 even more sad. Number 2 is We're the Millers. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Jumped right up. Yeah, somehow people, like everyone saw Elysium and then everyone decided to go see We're the Millers. So, I don't understand it. I mean, it might be a good movie. I really have not heard any reviews on this, so I don't know. Have you been hearing good things about We're the Millers or meth things? What have you heard about it?
Again, it's really more of a mixed feeling about these. Some people say, oh, it's really funny. Some say, there's cheap jokes, but I think, from what I heard, even as much as they do, might go for, pick the low fruit, hanging fruit, but it's just kind of like, I think for some most part, they still had cleverness in it that made it funny.
Yeah, I laughed at it, but like I said, I just can't trust Jennifer Aniston when I see her in a movie, so, and when she's one of the top billing people, I'm just like, I like the other guy, though. The other guy has that cool, like, kind of sarcastic asshole to him that I've grown to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, number 1, you let me know if you've heard of this movie. Lee Daniels, The Butler.
Yes, I've heard of it.
What the hell is this about?
It's basically about a butler played by Forrest Whitaker, obviously he's a butler. As a kid, his dad was killed. This is beginning of the movie, so no spoiler. But eventually, he does end up working in the White House for a couple of I'll say probably a good amount of years. It kind of goes through the civil rights movement and. Even, his son, who ended up being he's pretty much what you could see from the trailer. He's a Black Panther, so,
Wait, is this another one of those people are evil movies?
I don't think it's so much white people are evil, because even the presidents, from what it looks like, they say that, they're actually, nice and kind of good people. But it's not the, all about the white people being the great white hope.
Okay, we're not here to save the poor black man, and we're not here to bring the poor black man down. Am I correct? Okay, good. Because, I can't stand those movies. I mean, I liked 42, which kind of had that. It was set in the same time, first black, baseball player, and it did have some of that white guilt, but then they also, it still had more of him doing things for himself, and it didn't try to relish in the whole well, they're a bunch of racists. Well, no. It wasn't like, oh, white people are so mean and rich and full of this, and look, the black people make the. I know I really sound like I'm, sitting on my pole here and drinking some tea saying, well, I don't like white people being villainized. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying we've been beaten over the head with this so many times that I don't want to see it again. I mean.
Do you want to know why this got number one? I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be number one for a long time, because you know who's in it?
Who?
Oprah.
Oh, shit.
Oprah plays Forrest Whitaker's wife, so, of course, with all the Oprah fans out there, this is probably going to be up there for a couple more weeks.
Will not see this, will not rent it, will not... I don't like Oprah. She's a pretentious bitch. I know, people are like, whoa, where's that coming from?
Shit.
I don't like her. I do not like... Basically, if you're a daytime talk show host person, one of those people that, quote-unquote, helps people on TV, fuck you. No, you're not. You don't help anybody out. You're just in it for the ratings. You find the most fucked up human being you can, and you exploit them so it can be like, well, that person's really fucked up. Good thing Oprah's here. No. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck Dr. Phil. Fuck all those people. She should have been washed away like fucking Jerry Springer. It was a little bit more classy. God, I really cannot stand the shit. Oprah she's a plague. I really just do not like her.
Well, fans, come back next year where I'll be doing this show solo because Brandon probably got killed.
I know, honestly. I'm waiting to see an Oprah symbol come up on my laptop, just boom, like we know who you are. No, it seriously is one of those things where I just really, I don't like her at all. Like I said, I don't like any of them. And I don't know. But then again, I'm not a middle-aged housewife, so why should I like her? But I guess I shouldn't have any content like I do, but whatever. It's just me. I really hate people. It's just the fact she's just so hypocritical. She's a fucking hypocrite if I've ever seen one. Saying, oh, I feel really sorry for you. Fuck you. No, you don't. You don't feel sorry for anybody. You're in it for the fucking ratings, you rich piece of shit. Oh, alright. Yeah. You heard it from folks. I want that. I almost want that on a t-shirt now, Nicky G. I want that on a t-shirt. Just Oprah as a rich piece of shit. Yeah. And then go wear it in front of where all the housewives meet and just be like, yeah, I said it. Now how about you go read your little book club of books that she was paid to recommend, huh?
And then when they chase after you, just hold up a book of 50 Shades of Grey. Here it is, go get it, and just throw it.
Just throw it and they're like, oh! Or I could just freaking just hold up an Ozzy Osbourne CD and see them all like, oh, it's the devil! I don't know why I picture these people are all back in the 80s when Ozzy used to be considered the devil, but... Or just show a woman wearing a corset and they'll be like, oh, it's pornography! Get it away! Be like, fuck it! Oh... Yeah, that's the top 5, everyone. All I could say is, fuck you, Oprah. It's brought to you by Fuck Oprah. Alright, so, let's get into, I got a couple news. I'll start out with the one I found first, one of them. Let's talk about, they're gonna talk, 2015 talks about having a Ted 2 sequel. We have Avengers 2 coming out, we have the Superman Batman movie coming out, and then we get Ted 2. I never seen Ted yet. I don't know. Have you seen Ted?
Yes, I've seen Ted.
Oh, how was Ted? Ted good?
Yes, it was actually pretty good. It was a lot better than most people would have thought it would have been.
Yeah, I really fell off the Family Guy train like I used to be on. I used to be a diehard Family Guy fan. You ask Nicky G here. I would literally stand around for a full hour and we would just start quoting Family Guy, and that would just be the entire hour, just doing this diarrhea. And that would be our entire hour just quoting that shit. And eventually they just got into later seasons where they just got to the point where they were trying too hard, which actually, in my opinion, is most comedy shows nowadays. I used to be a fan of Tosh.0. He started trying too hard to offend people. It got lame. I was like, no, you don't have. Once you start trying hard to with people, you stop offending anybody. You just start being just annoying. You just start getting annoying. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. I don't really even get tired of those. I think when it comes to comedy shows like that, well, I mean, there's some I don't like, but for the most part, I'm the retarded kid, ice cream cone. I'm just laughing at everything. But I mean, I think, if anything, some of the stuff that I think tried too hard was, Brickleberry.
That tried way too hard. Didn't that get canceled, immediately?
It went on for a couple of weeks, a couple of episodes. I'm not sure if it even been canceled. Yeah, I just stopped watching after the first episode.
I don't know. I haven't seen. I mean, granted, I don't watch much TV, like on actual television. So I don't know. It's not like I see commercials on it, but I remember being bombarded with Brickleberry shit, and all of a sudden it just went. And I really do believe, like, Comedy Central's like, yeah, no one cares about this. I mean, I don't even know if Tosh Point is still around anymore.
You want to know what show I think just sucked? Well, Tosh Point, yeah, it's still around. I mean, I think they're done with their season for this year. I'm not sure when the next one will start.
Yeah. All right. Well, what show?
The show I thought was a complete. It's just terrible compared to Tosh Point. It's ridiculousness.
Ridiculous.
It's a show on MTV with Rob Dyrdek, the skateboarder.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for explaining who that. I was going to say, I don't know who that is. But what do they have to do?
But it's just pretty much the same thing as Tosh Point. They just have a stage and, in front of an audience, and they're making fun of, internet clips that, Tosh Point aired like 5 years earlier.
Oh, you serious?
And not to mention, yeah, it's just terrible. You want to know what it is? A lot of times, they're not even saying a lot of good jokes. It's pretty much Derek, just reenacting the same thing, going, oh, boom, boom, oh, you hit the ground, boom, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, and he has members that come on, people that have nothing to do with these videos for the most part. I mean, sometimes they'll find some video, like, they might find some Jackass clips, they have some guy from Jackass on, or they'll bring people like singers on that have nothing to do with them, and then freaking, he has people from his old show, Fantasy Factory on there, which, I didn't hate Fantasy Factory. I actually kind of liked it, but, I'm not a diehard fan. But then you have freaking, they have the blonde girl, Chanel or something, I think, and she's just, I hate to call her this, but, she really is kind of like the dumb blonde that's gonna laugh at anything.
You know what the most disturbing thing you've said in this whole sentence, or this whole thing you've been talking about? You've just admitted that you actively watch MTV. You know these people's names. You've watched multiple different shows on MTV.
Technically it's one show, but...
You have tuned into MTV. I don't know, Nick. I don't know.
It's not like watching fucking Jersey Shore. Not that you do, I'm just saying. It's not like I am watching that.
Like, not that I do or anything. Like, I would never watch that Snooki. Did you see how Snooki got... I don't know. Ugh. I actively... I don't want to give MTV anything. I want them to go out of business. I want them to be gone. I want them... Because, not only are they false advertising what the hell their channel even represents of, music television. I mean, it's like what G4 used to be when before G4 used to, it was supposed to be gamer television or something like that. And, now it's just like Cops. They don't even have, I don't even know if that's still a network anymore. I mean, they got rid of all their shows that actually had anything to do with video games. Really?
I mean, I don't want to pay attention. I know, yeah, I've seen them, when they had Cops on or Ninja Warrior. Yeah. I never watched, I'm not sure if that's even part of Attack of the Show or whatever it was.
Tech Show was one of their ones that was more, it was all about the tech. And then they had X-Play, which did video games. It was all video games, video game reviews. They used to have a bunch of others, like Arena, which was all of them, gamers versus each other for money. That got canceled. I mean, the last two shows that had anything to do with video games was Attack of the Show and X-Play, and they canceled both of them. And all the time I'm sitting there thinking, like, so you guys are the Ninja Warrior Cops Network now? Because that's the only two shows you ever had on. So, fuck off. One of the shows, it was one of the things I used to watch, one of the channels I used to watch, and now I'm just like, well, I don't really even watch TV because the only shows that are even worth a damn anymore are like on Stars and HBO. I know some people are like, well, Breaking Bad and Walking Dead. I'm like, yeah, I agree with Walking Dead. I still cannot get myself into Breaking Bad. I know, blasphemy or whatever.
I've watched the first season. I like it.
I like it. I like it too. I watched the first season, but there's nothing that I don't. Okay, example like when I watch Game of Thrones or Spartacus, I watch it and then I want to keep watching. I would just want to blow through the entire season. I just want to keep on. I watched Breaking Bad. I finished it. I was like, that was good. But not, that doesn't have that part of me that says, Brandon, you need to watch episode 2 now. No, it just says, well, let's go do something else now. So that's why I'm just like, the show, it's not, I'm not calling it bad, I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea. I just don't care. So, yeah. So what's your, also apparently, I don't know, they said, are you looking forward to Ted 2? The end of this is just like, or is this going to be where Mark Wahlberg gets his ass handed to him by a teddy bear? And does he fight the teddy bear in the first movie?
Oh yeah, they're getting a fight.
Okay. So, apparently he's going to fight him again. I don't know. Kind of slow news week, people. What news?
Well, I guess on that train right there with Mark Wahlberg wants to be the next Iron Man.
Here step down from that quest because at least Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Iron Man till Avengers 2.
Yep, and that's pretty much what this article is saying is that, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is still going to be Iron Man till the next Avenger, and then Mark Wahlberg wants to, pick it up right after that.
You know how the fans are going to react? Do they have any idea? I mean, it's not like I don't like Mark Wahlberg, but you go this long. By the time that comes out, it'll be about good, 8 years or something? Because Iron Man 2 came out in 2008. Okay, 5 years. At least 5 years. Almost basically half a decade of, Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man. And all of a sudden you just can't switch out that actor and just be like, well, now it's going to be Marky Mark. I mean, yeah, sure, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad movie with him, but I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of crap coming in with that.
It's one of the things where I just don't think he's right for the role.
He really No.
I mean, he's good for other films and he could do other roles really good, but just for this one, I just don't see him as an Iron Man. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he gets role. Like, here's a quote saying, "I would like to take over the Iron Man franchise for Robert Downey Jr." But it's one of those things where I kind of like playing real people, so I've never been asked. So it's kind of like
I like playing real people because Max Payne is completely real. Well, let's not forget about his shooter character or many of his other roles where he plays as fake, fictional people. He would. You know what? If he was going to play anybody, Nikki G, I would say he would make he could have made probably a good Captain America, or even a good Hawkeye. He could have been a good Hawkeye if they didn't get Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
He kind of has that asshole feel to him when he plays an asshole. And, his acting in Pain and Gain was awesome. He's good. Mark Wahlberg, believe it or not, I don't like him in his action roles too much. I don't like him at all, really, in his action roles. But when he does a comedy role, he's really good. He does really good in comedy. And I was like, dude, you're a comedian. What can I say?
Yeah, I still have yet to see him in Pain and Gain, which I still need to.
It's out. I think it's out on DVD now. Which all that means is just go hit up the Redbox. $1, and you're like, oh, that was amazing. That was funny as hell.
You're definitely right when it comes to comedy. I mean, even in Ted, he's actually really funny in Ted as well. So
he's funny in that. He plays good as kind of that. Like in Pain and Gain, he's an asshole. He really is he's just a douchebag. And you watch him, and he's a stupid douche, and you just like seeing bad things happen to him, or with him just freak out. And it's really funny. But when he does a role like Shooter, and it's just bland, it's just like, okay, I mean, the movie wasn't terrible, but it was just one of those movies where I'm just like, okay, Mark, listen, Listen, buddy, you're a funny guy. You really are a funny guy. Your serious roles are just meh. Like, even in A Fighter, it was Christian Bale that stole a show from him. It was not Mark Wahlberg that made that movie.
And I can remember, was Mark Wahlberg nominated for?
No, it was actually, I think Christian Bale was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and Mark Wahlberg, I don't think he got anything for that role. Like, you know, that must piss off any lead actor when your supporting actors get
nominated.
They get nominated, and you're just like, I was the main character in that film, and I don't even get nominated for Best Actor or Best Performance or anything. God damn it! Like, I still feel sorry for Leonardo DiCaprio, just because the dude.
DiCaprio?
Yeah, I know. I always love seeing it whenever it catches me when I say that. The dude, he does so many good roles, and I don't know, has he even been nominated? I know he's never won.
No, I think he has been nominated, but yeah, he's never won.
It's like, he's done so many good roles, and honestly, if you would have asked me back in like 1999 or 2000, whenever the hell the Titanic came out, if that guy was going to be a good actor, I would have said, fuck no, this movie sucks ass. This movie sucks the hair off my nuts. Even though I was like a little kid at that time, you know, I was in elementary school, so I wouldn't have any hair in my nuts, but I was talking like that anyway. It's like, fuck no. That little motherfucker. No,
do you think he should have taken the place for lead role for Django instead of Christopher Waltz? Do you think he should have?
He should have been Christopher Waltz's character?
You think he should have taken the Oscar instead of
Christoph Waltz?
Yeah.
No. Honestly, Christoph Waltz does an amazing job. He really does. I really liked his character as the German bounty hunter, who, you know, he's just a badass. I also liked, Leonardo's role, where he actually, you know, there's that scene in the movie where he breaks the glass and actually cuts his hand in real life, but he just keeps going with it, and he starts rubbing his blood on that one chick, and she literally freaks out. When I found out that scene was real, like, she's actually freaking out because he actually cut his hand and started I would have loved to have been on the set that day just to see, once they turn off the cameras, her start hitting him, like, you son of a bitch! That's disgusting, and him just, like, laughing the whole time. I do like Leonardo, but, real quick, the last story we got here, or I got, is Hugh Jackman. From what they say, he's kind of saying no. Well, okay, he says Fox did not offer him another $100 million to be Wolverine for another 4 years. But kind of what everyone's getting at, what the news article is getting at, is he's basically not going to be Wolverine after this Days of Future Past anymore. You know what's really crazy? He's been Wolverine for a decade now.
Yep.
I remember when I first saw the first X-Men movie.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I remember that day. I remember the day when I saw that, and I remember him being Wolverine, and when I was younger, I liked the Wolverine with the yellow costume on. I was into it. I was into him wearing his yellow spandex and wearing that weird mask that he always had to wear. For whatever reason, I was into that. When they had Wolverine without a mask, it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of lame. But I really warmed up to him. And you know what? He's been Wolverine for a decade and only having one movie that was considered like one of the worst comic book movies out there. That's not too bad. That's really not bad at all. He does good in the role, let's admit. The Wolverine was a good movie. It had some things where I was just kind of like, well, that's kind of dumb, and why didn't he just do this? But whatever. Besides that, have you seen the Wolverine yet?
I have not. Jeez. I had a chance, but I was too tired to go, so I was like, fuck it.
I can't dog you on that, because that's basically kind of what it was Friday when I could have seen Kick-Ass 2. I was just like, I really don't feel like it. There's no reason for me to go see that, and, whatever. But, yeah, if he doesn't want to do Wolverine anymore, I don't know. I don't know about you. I'd be down to see a different Wolverine. What would you like to see as Wolverine? Who would you like to see as Wolverine?
Mark Wahlberg. I don't know. Who would make a good Wolverine?
I'm trying to think on who I think would make a good Wolverine. you spend 10 years with a guy, you just kind of get used to him. You're just like, that's Wolverine. Except for when you hear him talk with his normal accent and he's Australian, then you're like, that's definitely not Wolverine. Actually, there's a guy at my work, he literally has the Wolverine chops. It's so funny. Sometimes I'll call him Weapon X, like, careful there, Weapon X. Because he literally, he is Wolverine if I've ever, like, he has it even more, he has his chin shaved, but big old thick chops on the side. I was like, dude, if he just grew out his hair and did that weird little thing where he points up two of his hairs, which I love how no one in the entire Wolverine X-Men universe has made fun of Wolverine for doing that yet. They're like, dude, what kind of look are you going for? I never, like, when you get up in the morning, it's not like your hair just lays like that, like where it's just like, oh, yep, it kind of just points up like that. Is that your mutant ability where your hair is just automatically always gelled like that? Do you just have a weird part?
It regenerates with them.
I know, he cuts it, gives his head bald, and just, like, God damn it. It just automatically stays like that. He's like, trust me, I've tried. Oh. They do actually have an awesome scene in the Wolverine. It's very in the beginning, so it's not spoiling anything. But they actually show Logan. His hair actually does go back to that way. We just made a joke, but in the Wolverine, he gets, there's a bunch of fire, and he gets engulfed in fire, and they actually show his skin and stuff getting, like, melting off him and stuff, like, what would happen if you were on, over 100-degree fire. And then they show him healing, and his hair literally grows back into that same shape. I'm like, dude, you have some smart-ass cells. I mean,
yeah.
If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that hair was dead skin cells and wouldn't rejuvenate as quickly as, say, living skin cells. And also the fact that your hair just doesn't grow, it doesn't, if his hair would, rejuvenate like that, his hair would never stop growing, technically. It would
pretty
just constantly
much.
Just like, he'd just be sitting there every now and again with his claws just, yep, it's gone, and then just watch it slowly start growing back, just like, ugh.
Hey, Wolverine, is that a new coat? Nope, that's just my arm hair. Hanging 3 feet.
That's just my hair. He's just covered in hair, just like, please tell me. His fingernails never stop growing. He's like, ah. They're like, yeah, you're immortal too, so we can't even do anything. I don't know, that sounds like it would be the worst curse now if you think about it. Just stop it. Just occasionally lights himself on fire just so he can stop having hair grow on him for a little bit. Oh. Dude, that's such a weird thought now. That's all I'm thinking about now is just someone whose skin cells never stop rejuvenating, so they're just, I also was thinking of the other day, because, in the Wolverine Origins they have Sabretooth, who has the claws that are basically similar to Wolverine's bone claws. And they show a scene where he cuts, he literally cuts through a car with his claws. Like, he sticks his claws in there, starts moving up. Okay, in theory, those are just really a little bit stronger fingernails. That's not what would happen, to my knowledge. I don't know. I mean, that seems like you'd think he would like, oh God, a nail broke off in your car. Ow, oh God, oh. And then just like grows back. He's like, damn it, that hurt. I don't know. It just, and also, now I think about it, people are like, oh, Sabretooth's awesome. Like, he fights like a bitch. He's flinging his hands around trying to scratch you the whole time.
You're just batting his hands around like a girl. Just stop it! Stop it!
He starts trying to fight Logan like a little girl. Honey. And then he just scratches him. He's like, what the hell? Just punch me like a man. Stop scratching me. Yeah. What other news you got real quick before, like, last news story? Pick the best one you got there, Nikki G.
Ooh. Well, a lot of them just connect together, but you know what? I'll give you some good news.
Okay, I'm ready for some good news.
This should leave us out here with a pretty happy mood.
What?
Stephenie Meyer, quote, so over Twilight. The author of the novels of Twilight vows, and behind the film series, vows that she will never make another book on the Twilight series.
Well, that's good. That is very good news. You know what? If I had a time machine, I would have like kind of okay. Say all right. If I had a time machine, now you're thinking I'm going to go somewhere dark with this. No. All right. I would have taken that statement. I would have edited a little bit, and then I would have went back in time, found Stephenie Meyer and showed it to her, and it would have said something around. Writing the Twilight series has ruined my life and ruined my career. I should have never done this. My family's dead. I would have said, something like that. I want to kill myself. And I would have showed that to her and said, if you make those books, if you write those, you're going to be the most miserable human being in the world. And then I would have taken that same thing, changed out Twilight, and put Harry Potter, and found J.K. Rowling and said, I know you're homeless. Here's $20. I will give you $100 if you never make those Harry Potter books, and then I never have to hear about it from my own friends on how great they are, and when they're really not. And she would have been like, okay. And if anyone ever compares your fucking books to Star Wars, I will find you. No. Seriously, Dick, that pisses me off so much. And when people are like, Harry Potter is this generation Star Wars, I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself. You go fuck yourself. Star Wars is this generation.
I thought Lord of the Rings was our generation Star Wars.
Yeah, even Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings would be better as this generation Star Wars, because you know what? Lord of the Rings did something that neither one of those two have done. I love Star Wars, but Lord of the Rings actually won an Academy Award for Best Picture. Unlike Harry Potter, unlike Star Wars. Neither one of them won anything. Actually, I think Harry Potter might have won something, but I'm not 100% on that. Yeah, if not, it was nominated. But still, it's just one of those things where if anything, Lord of the Rings, or hell, the guy who was making District 9 in Elysium, Neil Blomkamp, that guy could, if that guy decided if they wanted him to make a Star Wars movie, that would have been awesome. Speaking of Star Wars, real quick, they say Obi-Wan might come back in the Star Wars Episode 7.
As a ghost?
Well, yeah, of course he'd be a ghost. I saw this thing on screen where it's saying, which ghost is coming back. They showed Qui-Gon, they showed Obi-Wan, they showed Yoda, and then they showed Anakin. And all the time I'm thinking, I was like, well, it better not be Anakin, because he was, hate to say it, he was kind of the villain in the last 3 movies. But I would dig to see Obi-Wan come back. I am a huge Obi-Wan fan. Like, he is my favorite Jedi. I don't know. Before we get off, quick, favorite Jedi.
I brought to go with Obi-Wan.
Oh, you stealer.
Well, I mean, I would have said Anakin just because he turns into Darth Vader, which, I mean, if you're not talking about, when the whole story is about Darth Vader being a complete badass and shit, so.
Vader is a badass. Anakin was kind of a whiny bitch from what I've seen. He never really was, they were supposed to, he's so strong. It's like, really? He comes off really whiny and complaining. But I think our Star Wars talk is going to be for probably next week, Nick, because we are out of time. As an hour goes by, another day, another hour. If you want to...
Dust in the wind, only for a moment. Oh my God.
If you would like to comment on our podcast, go to bloodyscreen.weebly.com for just if you want to talk to us about movies. I'll see your comment. I will totally have a whole conversation with you. If you want to, you want to tell me how wrong I am about something, try.
Harry Potter and Oprah and...
I know, try. If you're a part of Oprah's fan club, you let me know of all the good things she does, and I'll tell you where to stick it. So, yeah. Yeah, that's our show, everybody. This was the Movie Thing Bullshit podcast show. That is it, everybody. Good night. Good night. Come on.